the fitness industry lies to you. They lie to you, the fitness professional, where it's like, they make this whole thing where it's like, you either have to be a good coach or you have to just be a business person. They both don't coexist, right? But they're not mutually exclusive, man. You have to do both really well. You have to be a good fitness marketer these days, especially if you're going online, because you can be really good and you can have all these accolades, all these certifications, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to know about you. So it's like, do good work and get it out there as well too. And don't be afraid to market, like you're just putting a message out there to a specific person, and trying to solve a problem, get them out of pain with your unique gifts and talents. So look at it that way and stop thinking people are just going to come to your doorstep or they're just going to hit you up on Instagram and Facebook. Like, no, you got to put content out there. You have to market, you have to sell, you have to put yourself out there. So start reframing your mindset with that, because if you don't, I can give you all the tactics out there to get clients, but it's not going to do any good because the little voice right here is going to stop you from doing it.
What's up, everybody? We're back with another LT360 podcast. Today, I have a lovely set of brothers here from the great state of Texas, and they are, as it says behind them, dynamic fit pros. They have been in the game for a long period of time, and they have learned through the ups and downs of the fitness professional world through experience, and they are trying to pay it forward. They have two awesome books, Rise of the Fit Pros and the New Era of Fitness. So they have a ton of value to bring to especially all the fitness professionals and health professionals out there listening. And they are the owners of Dynamic Fit Pros, which is their consulting business for helping fitness professionals like myself and like yourselves take their business to the absolute next level. But I want to let them introduce themselves. Here we have Eric and Chris Martinez. Thank you guys for coming on. And what else do you guys have to say today? How's it going?
Yeah, Dylan, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having us on your platform, your podcast. I'm excited to serve and just deliver some value. And I got to ask, is this your first time interviewing twins?
Yes, without a doubt.
Right on. You're in for a treat. Yeah, we'll keep this funny, entertaining.
Coming from a family with, I got a lot of siblings, and I'm sure you guys experience this too. A lot of siblings this far into life don't find themselves this closely involved in each other's life. So you guys probably get that a lot too, right?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Absolutely. We still till this day hey, you guys twins. And we're like, oh, I want to test the gullibility and just, we say, no, we're cousins.
See if it would fly if they buy it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I got to have some fun with it. But no, we're doing well. Honestly, it's been busy, but really good stuff too. We're running a 5-day challenge for Fit Pros right now. Then we're opening up our new program, online fitness clients, starting Monday. So just a lot on the plate, but it's all good stuff, so we're just looking forward to it.
No, absolutely. Like we said before, right? A busy schedule is a grateful thing, right?
Exactly. So
you guys were originally, from the great state of California, right? The Republic there. So paint that picture for me, you guys growing up. I think that would be very helpful for everyone to kind of get your background and where you came from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll take the listeners through our story. And I think this is great too, because there could be somebody that's listening going through the same adversity that we went through. So if I take you back 18 years ago, we were seniors in high school, and it was 3 days before Christmas. We grew up in a really picture perfect family. My father was a correctional officer at San Quentin State Prison. Very, very just disciplined. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I interject? My father also a correctional officer.
Very cool. Nice,
yeah,
man.
So I was listening to that, and I was like, man, that's obviously I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And then, so how it is, just, very strict, our father was strict. He was all about discipline, just education, everything. And, he's a great guy. And, he got taken from us, at a really short age. And we were, like I said, 17 years old, and 3 days before Christmas, seniors in high school get a knock on the door at 2 a.m. And literally it was a California Highway Patrol officer and a chaplain. So not the best combination, at that hour. And I was asleep, Chris was asleep, and I literally thought I was having a dream. And then I woke up, I heard my mom screaming, and I went to his room to see if he was there. He wasn't there. And they had told us that he fell asleep behind the wheel, just coming home. And that was it. He died instantly, and right then and there, our entire life and world was just turned upside down. And after that, my mom lost her mom due to cancer 3 months later. So it was like a ton of bricks to hit my mom to what she was not anticipating. And
Mhm.
nobody's ready for that type of grief. And she actually turned to alcohol, to antidepressant pills. So I felt like we lost a part of her, like almost like a really like 50% of her, that just, she wasn't the same person after that. So Chris and I, 17, going on 18 years old. I mean, we were still kids. So we were lost and our family was lost. Our older brother was lost. We were broken. But we did the best we could, and we had each other, thank God we did. And we just went down like a dark path, to be honest, for 6 years. And I call it hell. We just got in trouble with like the law. We were just really angry kids and just took it out on people. And it wasn't the best way to do it, but we didn't know any better. So after that, like I said, we just went through the motions. We went to college, graduated from Sonoma State University. And we did that because our father wanted us to do that. He wanted us to graduate from a university, and we honored that. But we weren't even in it. I could tell, man, like we were just like going through the motions. And what really got us out of that was literally fitness. That's what alleviated like the pain, the grief, just going into the gym, hitting the iron, the stress, seeing body compositional changes, learning, physiology, exercise science. And then we stumbled across Lane Norton in a muscular development magazine at the age of 24. It was funny. And that was like a sign to where, we need to hire this guy. Like he's speaking to us. He was all natural. He had a PhD in nutritional sciences. So we reached out to him and, he took us under his wing as like clients and did a mentorship for 5 years with him and just really learned all his like crafts and skills. And we saw him doing online coaching early on. So we kind of put two and two together and we're like, we've been studying this guy religiously. We learned a lot of stuff and we're like, we could do this. So we went on to get all of our certifications, all that stuff. And we opened our first business, Dynamic Duo Training, and did very well with that business, scaled that to, multiple six figures years and served thousands of clients around the world. And then here we are now. We actually pivoted to just doing the fitness professionals to where, we're coaching them through business, going online, doing a hybrid model. So yeah. And then like I said, we have a couple books, we do some speaking, we have a podcast, a Dynamic Lifestyle podcast. So that's our story.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's lots of ups and downs as I've tried to explain, right? There's and listening to the rise of the Fit Pros, so much of that was laid out to me, and I think that in your ability to convey that story and let people know that there's still hope, right? There is this ability to persevere through whatever it is that you may have to conquer, but at the end of the day, you get to pay it forward. You get to figure it out on your own, and then you get to once again help other individuals like you guys are doing a great job of right now. So
absolutely.
you guys, so it was just you two and another brother, older?
Yeah, older brother. Yeah.
And you grew up in what part of California?
It's called Santa Rosa, California. It's about 45 minutes north of San Francisco.
Okay.
So Sonoma County, think about wine country. Napa area.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Napa. I know red wine very well. So yeah.
Love me some vino.
Yes. Can't go wrong there. No, that makes a lot of sense. And when did you guys actually take that love for fitness, right? So was it, when you guys found that love for fitness, was it purely out of like, I want to go to the gym in college and look good for Saturday nights? Or was it like, we used to play sports and we want to like, continue to find our way and be more athletic, or that kind of connection? There's always those two different kind of paths there.
Yeah, it started in 2009, really. And it did come from like the athletic background because we played soccer and basketball. And then also too, like, of course, man, we wanted to look good for like the women, that's why we're doing the curls for the girls out there. And the third part would be just obviously just like something to distract us and get us off of the loss of our father, So it was all three of those type of things that really kind of got us into like that passion of like fitness. And then it just grew into like, seeing other people have that carryover of like changing their lives and, that carrying over to their relationships, their careers, and enhancing their lives and all that type of stuff. So we just fell in love with it. That was like our assignment in life, for that time being.
For sure. Fitness is a drug, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm. And did you guys study fitness in college while you were there, or what did you actually get degrees in? How did that work?
Yeah, that's funny. We actually studied business communications. So we had an emphasis in writing as well too. So it had nothing to do with fitness. And we were actually, yeah, and it's just funny how that works. And then we were just doing like our CPT and stuff like on the side. But yeah, I don't even know how we got into that field, like with our undergrad.
Well, it was just
Yeah.
really, man, because like our dad wanted us to finish college,
Yeah.
and we just didn't. We were done with our undergrad, like all of our units, and we had to get into our major. So we didn't know, honestly, like there was no passion, like really for like anything like
Mhm.
in the university level. So we're just like, okay, like it's either business or it's communications or one of the two mixed, and it's broad, and then we'll see where that takes us.
No, valid. And
Yeah.
it's taken you great places, right? Because
Sure.
yeah,
Certain aspects, I guess, paid off.
yeah. Business communications, writes a book, owns a bunch of businesses, seems to make sense. No, that's awesome. And it allows people to understand that if you just kind of push through, you do something, it will end up paying off its dividends. You never know when karma's going to come back around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Totally. So you guys opened your first, gym, right? Dynamic duo fit, that ended up kind of tanking, if I'm not wrong right there, right? That kind of went under, and you guys lost that business as it was a general brick and mortar gym and entity, right? You didn't have the ability to, or you guys weren't at the time training people online, correct?
So Dynamic Duo Training was always an online business. That's what it first originated. The whole thing that we lost our gym, I know what you're talking about. It was the studio that we built at our home in Orange County, California.
Okay.
So yeah, that was brutal. And that's still a dagger to my heart, Dylan. Because we
Sorry to
poured
bring it up.
yeah, we poured 10 grand into that thing. It was beautiful, just amazing equipment. We had so many good plans to just like even hire out independent trainers there, do seminars, so many cool things. And then like a year after, the landlord wanted to sell his house. So good learning lesson, not to rent and build a gym.
Yeah. Don't put any money into it unless you own it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Check that one off the learning. That's too funny. So, I heard you quote LeBron, and there is no greater teacher than experience. What has transpired the most throughout your journey that kind of led you to understand that you have to eventually move beyond the actual service of the client and move into the service of helping the one that is helping the client, right? How do you be the teacher of the teacher?
Yeah.
When did that transition happen, and how did it kind of come to the forefront? Because that's something that I've always been big on, and I've always learned from my business mentors is there's the ability to say, sell a product, right? But how do you sell a business? How do you sell the actual thing that is creating the product, right?
Yeah.
So where did that transition happen, and how did that kind of come full circle?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, in 2016 and 2017-ish, one of those between there, we joined a mastermind, Ty Lopez's mastermind, and that was a huge kind of like epiphany of showing us the business side of stuff and connections and marketing and sales and personal branding and social media, all this stuff. And then in that program, we met another mentor. His name's Rory Carruthers, and this guy was a super sharp, like marketing whiz, and he helped us actually publish our 2 books. And from them too, I would say is kind of where that sparked, where it's like the interest of working with fitness professionals, help them build their business. Because by then it was literally like 8 solid years, doing like, personal training, online fitness coaching. And I think there was a dagger, when that gym kind of like shut down and we had to move, and our dreams and hopes kind of were down like the drain with that. So I think that was a dagger, and it was a sign to like move on, and then we got into Ty Lopez's thing, learn from him, learn from Rory, hired other mentors too throughout like the years in 2017, 2018. We just fell in love with it. We're like, this is the new assignment, and there's a big gap and a big need for it, because a lot of fitness professionals aren't taught marketing.
Yep.
They're not taught sales. They're taught the opposite, to be honest, so
Yeah.
that's where we want to come in and fill that void.
No, that's awesome. It's so funny you say that. I went to school for sports medicine, and I graduated as an graduated as an athletic trainer.
Nice.
The overall aspect of school was, okay, you're going to become an entity and you're going to work for a team, and the team is going to tell you when to be there, how to be, and they're going to tell you your schedule, and you just kind of do the thing, and that's all right. And it's like, there's got to be more to life than that.
Yeah.
I can't coach switching times, and all of a sudden my whole, day is switched around all the time. So no, I totally agree. In terms of the education on the fitness side, most fitness professionals, health professionals never get any idea on how to do that. It's all, kind of funneling into the system of current healthcare. And that's where I think we're a little behind on healthcare, is because we're not taught how to innovate as healthcare professionals. So that totally makes sense. And Ty Lopez, that was when he was blowing up.
Blowing
yeah,
up, man.
yeah.
Blowing up.
He was on Instagram and YouTube and Snapchat. Everything opened up, it was a Ty Lopez ad.
Yep.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny. So when did you guys end up moving to Texas?
Yeah, that was literally 4 months ago. So we're newbie Texans, but yeah, to be honest, I mean, it was getting really bad over in California, and we were in Los Angeles, around in that area. So we were living there for the last 8 years, and with the lockdown, just the cost of living, I mean, state taxes, everything, to where it just wasn't worth it, to where we were just like, what are we doing here? There's no more proximity. You living in like a place like Los Angeles was to get access to certain things. And we had a podcast, we did a lot of like in-person stuff, right? And we had proximity to a lot of like big name people. So that kind of got closed down with COVID and stuff. So we're like, what are we doing here? And I just felt like we were just very unhappy there, to where I think back now after being here in Texas the last 4 months, to where it's a lot slower pace, which is a good thing. And I'm thinking, like, why did we have to like live that lifestyle of going so fast in LA? And it's crazy because you adapt to it and you don't know any better. And it's just a blessing. I truly believe that, we were led here, by God. I really believe that. My faith just, has just really just come to that, to where I've thought about it. And I'm like, out of all places, there's a reason we came here. And now we're so heavily involved with like the church, down the street, just a men's group. Chris and I are doing like kind of like a course where it's just for, renewing your faith and your spirituality, because when our father passed away, we kind of just like let go of that, I know that's a big part, that we want to continue to build upon. So yeah, just 4 months being here in Texas, it's been amazing. It's been a blessing, and I'm just looking forward to just the rest of this year and just the growth going forward.
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree. I've heard so many good things about Texas. Unfortunately, I've never been, but it's on the to-do list. It's very,
come on down.
Yeah, absolutely. Have to come by. Now I got to ask, so have you guys always lived together, same apartment or same building, same house? Yes.
Yeah,
Always.
pretty much, man. I mean, the only time like where he went back home for 6 months when the pandemic happened, because he was living in a studio in North Hollywood, and he was going through a lot of stuff with his foot injury, a breakup, and then the pandemic. So he just pretty much said like, I'm out, I'm going to go kind of get my mind right. And then me and my fiance stayed in LA. So that was the first time we cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, but it was cool though. It was a good experiment, because like we were kind of freaking out, saying like, oh, like how are we going to run this business if we're not together? And we made it work, to where I'm like thinking back, like, dang, like we did it and through a pandemic. And I'm like, that just kind of just shows like when a curveball's thrown, like we could just adapt to it in any way.
Totally. And it shows that the whole hybrid model works to a T, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, test the own theory, right? No, that totally makes sense. And it's funny. The reason I asked about, I live with my sister and we work at the same gym. So she recently became a fitness professional. She was the one that originally got me into the love of all this stuff. She was studying it in college. Long story short, she went to retail. I came down to Florida to live with her after I graduated from college. I knew that it was the one of the meccas of fitness, South Florida, right? So health and wellness is huge. I had already built my own brand, and the Limitless Theory and the podcast was all in the works. So I said, all right, I'm going to, up and leave. I'll do this. And now I've gotten her back into fitness, and she got her personal training certification, and now she's working at the gym that I was working at. We brought her on the team. So it's funny, we work together, we live together, and people are like, I don't know how you do that. I would kill my sister or my brother if I had to work with them every day. Like,
That's cool.
your personal problem. You got to work on your relationship a little bit.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you guys have a good relationship, and it's just like, if it works, it works. And that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And when you have, you know, a relationship that's you're coming from the exact same place, you can relate on so many more things, and you can look back on so many more things, look at the growth of how things have you know, moved forward with your life. So no, I totally agree. That's awesome. So you guys are still living together in Texas, or you guys have your own place? Yeah.
In
Still
Texas.
together?
Yeah. Right now we got a big place, man, which has been great. You know, one of the blessings of like moving from LA, and like this whole place right here is a little studio we built for the podcast media room. Like that would have been impossible to do in LA. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of space here. It's just me, Eric, and my fiance, and a little Pomeranian. So got plenty of space here.
That's funny. It's probably, you know, to your point, you get way more square footage in Texas for the same price, if not less.
It's insane, man.
And that's why I was saying earlier, like I was like, should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah. But there was a lot of, like you said, the personnel in LA is what brings people there. And
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
the ability to walk down the street and never know who you're going to see or bump into, and you know, interpersonal connection is still such a part of who we are as humans. So
yeah, and I felt like we had to somehow go through that stage of life through there. You know, it was always an itch that we wanted to scratch, to where I think that we would have regretted it if we didn't, you know, try to go there and live there and experience it all. So I'm happy we did. There's no regrets, but you know, you just think back now and you're like, wow, like what a difference. Like it's just insane sometimes thinking about it.
Yeah. And dude, it was cool. I mean, we trained at the Mecca over there in Venice, you know, Golds for like a couple of years. So it's like, you can't trade that experience. I mean, literally we've worked out very close to Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, like all these different people that would like walk in there and train. Josh Brolin. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? Like that's a cool experience. It really is.
You definitely can't paint that picture anywhere else.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like walking down, you know, the boardwalk in Santa Monica and Venice and seeing people on the bars and the rings and that. Yeah, I totally agree.
I'll give you something similar. South Beach.
Yep.
Absolutely. Not too far away. I was flirting with the idea of going down there this weekend, actually, to
Jealous.
work out. So
yeah, I'm jealous.
One of our goals is to like eventually have like a condo there, or just like, you know, something, a little vacation home. And I'd love to like bounce back and forth from Texas and like South Florida. I just love it out there.
Yeah, no, it's a great place. There's, once again, the personnel that you might see walking down the street down here is absurd. The weather's awesome. So, you know, can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad, like you said, glad I moved here. I don't know if it's forever, but we'll see. See where time takes us.
Yeah.
So let's dive into a little bit about your books and kind of the discrepancy of which separates, you know, each one. Why would someone go for Rise of the Fit Pros versus the New Era of Fitness? And also, where can people find them?
Yeah. I mean, the New Era of Fitness, we wrote that when we were kind of like at the peak of like dynamic duo training, like doing online fitness coaching. So that's for anybody that really is looking to learn kind of like the 5 elements we talk about it, like flexible exercise, flexible nutrition, habits, mindset, and then lifestyle, right? That whole book's all about that. And honestly, it's actually a good book for a fitness professional too, because they're learning some of those concepts and understand that like in this day and age, like, you know, fitness isn't just looked at as black and white. It's just training and nutrition. There's a mindset component. There's a habit component. There's a lifestyle. It's all like a huge thing you got to put together. So we've kind of positioned it that way. And then the Rise of the Fit Pros, that's definitely for a fitness professional looking to go online, looking to do the hybrid training model of in-person and online. And we teach so many different things, man, and frameworks on like, you know, marketing, like, you know, social media, branding, sales. I mean, it's a monster of a book in like 110 pages.
No, I was diving into the audio version of it, right? That you guys also did the voiceover for.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cool. And there was a lot of, I think what a lot of people lack is the structure, the ability to break something down into, okay, I know that this is the model that I want to follow, or this is, you know, ideally, I want to do what that person does, right? As a fit pro, and everyone's like, with the quarantine, especially, like, like I want to make videos and I want to get followers and I want them to pay me for this and have the option to do this, that, and the next, right? So I think providing that framework for Fit Pros where, okay, we know that you need marketing, we know that you need a sales pitch and options, and then we know that you have the value to provide based on, maybe an A, B, or C sales option, and how to get someone into A, B, and C is the marketing.
Yeah.
Give someone the ability, I think, like you said, it was stabilize, optimize, and expand.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my business partners, my online business, we've always talked about you have to get the system down and then you have to expand distribution. Get it down, expand it, get it
Yep.
down, expand it, and break it down for individuals. And I found a lot of quality just content that you guys had in there. The
Thank
ability
you.
for, yeah, of course, the ability, like you said, for a fitness professional to not only say, okay, this is what I want, but this is how I have to get there. This is the staircase to get to that next level.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great point. And honestly, Dylan, we've gotten a lot of great feedback just on the book because we barely released it back in, I want to say, June of 2020, which is still not that long. And we're actually giving the book away for free now, just because we want to give back and help people. We want them to consume the content, but it's one thing to consume content, actually put it into practice.
Knowledge is useless.
Yeah,
action,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's all I hope and pray for is just like, grab the book, whatever it's like, the audio, digital, physical, but test some stuff out. You got nothing to lose. I mean, geez.
Absolutely. And if I didn't know you guys were giving it away for free, so I guess I have a version of it. If anyone listening wants to, I can send it over to you guys. I'm sure you guys can send it over. And if they wanted to go to your website or download it, how would they go about that?
Yeah. So we're giving that out just at dynamicfitpros.com/free book, or we have it in our Instagram bio as well too.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, writing a book, I've been writing and keeping logs of things for years, and always with the vision of, okay, this is going to turn into a book at some point. How long did it take you guys to go about writing that? How obviously there's, the years of experience that turn into a said 200-page book or whatever it may be. But in terms of formalizing, okay, this is the name of it, this is the content we're going to have in there, going about it, finishing it, publishing, what does a process like that take?
Yeah, that's a great question. So like the first book we wrote, the Neuro Fitness, man, like it's funny, like it was like night and day, the experience of it. And it was just like us being rookies, right? Just first time writing a book. And for us, it's always been a dream to write a book. Like I've always really just had this respect for authors that actually can write a physical book. And I didn't want to go the route of doing like a rev.com where it's transcribed and this and that. Like I physically wanted to be on the keyboard and write this baby out and then see it be published. So the way we created the Rise of the Fit Pros, it's funny. Like we literally went and rented an Airbnb in Palm Springs for 2 days. And we locked ourselves in that place at the resort. And we just had like a whiteboard. We just mapped the whole entire thing out from like, chapter to chapter, like, okay, who's going to split this up? And we had tons of books with us, just things to just like go off of. We had content just like, just stored away in like, Dropbox, like Google Drive, to where that's how we did it. And we wrote it in 2 days, and obviously revised it and stuff, but that's how it came to life. And it's a good little tip for those that want to, create a book is I really cannot emphasize enough to just go somewhere outside of your normal environment to where you're not distracted, spend some money to where it's like, you have the psychology behind it is like, okay, I fronted the money. So it's like, I better deliver and, put it to use and just lock yourself. Back. Yeah. Lock yourself in the room and just bring that thing to life.
No, that's a great point. And it's about getting into that flow state and being able to lose yourself in the actual work, which I don't think we do enough of in general in day-to-day life. And like you said, there's no more just black and white fitness of, moving around, exercising, and nutrition. It's become so much more. And I always tell people, I like to train your nervous system. I'm not training anything else, in my opinion. I'm training your ability to get rid of everything that was before, get into your body, be in tune with where you are at this point. All of those things play a factor if you can get your mindset into it, if you can be fully in tune with your body and space, and then be able to feel afterwards like you feel better, not, you know, completely burnt out. You have no energy to go do anything else, and then you don't have the energy to make good decisions on nutrition or following those things. So I totally agree that that makes a big thing, a big difference. It's just getting in a flow state with whatever it may be.
It is.
So that's a great point.
And it's just taking action, man. Like, honestly, like, too many people worry about just like the end product instead of just, you know, taking action, just getting it done, you know, putting their B+ work out there instead of focusing on the A+ work. You know,
there's like stuff that I want to go back and revise and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not going to do it, man, because it's just like, that was our first product when we put out, and I'm not going to like sit there and stress about it and go back and revise it, like maybe later down the road or something like that. But this is the unpolished version of it. And it's like, it's good to go. It's going to help a lot of people out.
Without a doubt. If we focus on perfection, we'll never get anything accomplished. And
Exactly.
with that being said, you're just never going to take that next step.
Yep.
Right.
And I've had so many people reach out to me about, you know, like the podcast, like, how do you know, what do you recommend? I'm like, I don't know. All I have is my laptop, and I make a podcast. It's, you know, difficult if you want to, you know, as you move forward and get better, and it starts to maybe bring some income for you, maybe get some cooler tools, get a microphone, get some better lighting, get some good things. But for the most part, if you have an iPhone or smartphone or anything up to date technology wise in 2021, you can do a podcast.
Exactly.
Not much more complicated than that, right? So now, from your day-to-day perspectives and lives, with all of these things going on, how do you manage your time? If you had a pie chart of said online clients, personal clients, actual, you know, Fit Pro programs, personal life, and, you know, relationships, how does your pie chart on a day-to-day basis look?
Yeah. I mean, basically on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of the same schedule, right? Like, we start work usually around 8 o'clock, and then we work that first block until about like noon, just very deep work, right? No distractions, a lot of stuff done in 4 hours. Then we'll take a break for like 2 hours, go to the gym, go run some errands, and then come back for another work block, like around 3 to 4, and then shut it off completely, like around 7:30. And I go to bed around 10:30. So that's how I kind of like split my day up, is just those two main like work blocks. And I gotta hit the gym during the day to get my mind off of things and like move and stuff like that. And then we don't really like have a crazy schedule like that to where, like, you know, this day is dedicated for like podcasts, this next day is for like, you know, clients, all those type of things. The main thing that we do is just like, you know, Monday is like what we call Money Monday, where it's like me and Eric are like having our meeting. We meet with our team, like we map out all the intention for like the social media, like what we're doing this week. And then Tuesdays where we do like our coaching, like for our students, where we have our VIP Q&A calls and stuff like that, our teachings through Zoom. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, man, it's just like really whatever kind of like, you know, comes, you know, whether it's like a podcast like this, or we have some other projects to work on. We got to record a podcast. We got to interview somebody, you know,
but it always feels like it just fills up, you know, when you least expect it.
Yeah.
You're like, man, like this is on the calendar, that's on the calendar. But another thing too, he forgot to add, is just like, we're very big advocates of a morning routine, and that's dedicating anywhere from like, you know, 60 to 90 minutes just to, you know, read, meditate, journal, you know, do some prayer work, and just, you know, get our mind right to play offense, not defense.
I love that saying right there. Getting your mind right to play offense, not defense. That's
absolutely
huge. That's great. In terms of your traditional lives themselves, what are some of the principles of your said exercise programs and your workouts in the middle of the day? And what are some of your, you know, live bys and dies bys on the nutrition side?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, right now I'm trying to pack on some weight, you know, so I'm literally just doing like a higher volume type thing, like upper lower split, doing 5 sets. And that's taking a toll on me right now. I can feel it, but it's good. You know, I'm seeing some good progress. In terms of, you know, nutrition, like we're very big advocates of flexible dieting, just counting your macros. But right now, again, like I'm like kind of winging it, just eating as much calories as possible. And then we're going to actually do a cut beginning of March, just to, you know, have something to focus on, you know, try to shed like 8 to 10 pounds and just, you know, just get chiseled a little bit.
we're going to Cancun, man. So it's like
all right.
yeah.
Now the
This
truth
guy-
is revealed.
yeah.
man.
Okay,
This
yeah, I
guy,
forgot
this
to
guy
say
makes
that.
it sound like we're just going to cut just for the heck of it.
All
It's
right.
like nobody wants to just cut for the heck of it, man.
All
There's
right.
there's a big reward and outcome in those 6 weeks. So that's
He
why.
got me on that. He got me.
Absolutely. no one dedicates 6 weeks just for the hell of it, right?
No, and
Yeah.
that's one thing we used to do with like our coaching clients was like, man, like put a photo shoot like on a calendar. I didn't really like doing the whole competition stuff, but put a photo shoot on the calendar or
Vacation.
a vacation or something like that. So it motivates you. I mean, right? Motivation's everything,
Yeah, being able to have something to strive for. If you
Exactly.
don't have a purpose, that's where most people get lost in life
Yep.
in general. Is that
Yep.
we're not waking up with a purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone had said that to me. May have been my pops. He said something about I want to wake up with a purpose every day this year or something like that. Like that was his like call to action. Like
Yeah.
So true though.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Yeah, and it's once again something that you may not wake up with, but if you give yourself those 90 minutes to play offense, not defense, you'll find it by the time that 90 minutes is up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that plays a huge part. Now, in terms of big things that you guys have on your radar moving forward, what are some of I know you said you have a program coming up, but what are some, bigger things you guys have going on for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I would think it's just like what Eric mentioned earlier. It's just we just opened up our online fitness clients program, so that's like a level 1 program, and then we have a level 2, which is a VIP program. So I just want to stay laser focused on those two programs and really build those up and help as many fit pros as possible this year. And then, I mean, obviously, still, like do the podcast. We love doing the podcast. Get some bigger names on that. I mean, we've been doubling down a lot on YouTube as well too. So looking forward to that. And then I would say, Dylan, honestly, like, as soon as like, man, some things get somewhat normal, I'd like to do some in-person stuff again, so whether that's like a workshop, whether that's a mastermind, I mean, I'd like to do something though in person because I get tired of all this Zoom shit, man. It's like, I love the in-person stuff and the connection, the human to human stuff. So hopefully, man, things kind of clear up so we can do some in-person stuff. Cause I would love to do that.
Yeah. We used to do workshops too, and they went well and stuff, but just again, good old COVID just threw us all this like crazy curveball. So yeah, I would agree with Chris, just all those things. And just, again, man, I'm a big proponent on just working on myself, just putting in the sets and reps with that and getting 1% better every day. So that's my main focus is just, how do I continue to become the best version of myself? And, I can always say, set these goals business wise, but I like doing personal stuff too. And that's why this whole first quarter was dedicated to, our faith and spirituality, because I knew it was going to be hard, and it's been really hard so far this first month, but it's been amazing. And it's like, whatever doesn't make you uncomfortable, it's not going to make you grow.
That's 100% true. When I tell people that on a day-to-day basis, especially even clients, I say, if your body isn't challenged, if your nervous system isn't stimulated, you're just not paying attention. You're necessarily benefiting from a lot of this, right?
Yeah.
That's a principle of life. I like to say that, right? It applies to all facets of life for sure.
Yeah.
Now, if there's people out there, I'm sure, watching right now that are looking for that next step for them to take on creating their online business, on getting some of their clients to be more virtual per se, right? What is something that you guys can recommend for them to harp on right now if they have a lot of regular personal in-person clients? How do they start to make that transition? What is one thing that they can try to do?
Yeah. Biggest thing is got to reframe your mindset to be a fitness marketer. And I just did a whole podcast on this, man, to where it's like the fitness industry lies to you. They lie to you, the fitness professional, where it's like they make this whole thing where it's like you either have to be a good coach or you have to just be a business person. They both don't coexist, right? But they're not mutually exclusive, man. You have to do both really well. You have to be a good fitness marketer these days, especially if you're going online, because you can be really good and you can have all these accolades, all these certifications, but doesn't matter. Nobody's going to know about you. So it's like, do good work and get it out there as well too. And don't be afraid to market, like you're just putting a message out there to a specific person, and trying to solve a problem, get them out of pain with your unique gifts and talents. So look at it that way and stop thinking people are just going to come to your doorstep or they're just going to hit you up on Instagram and Facebook. Like, no, you got to put content out there. You have to market, you have to sell, you have to put yourself out there. So start reframing your mindset with that, because if you don't, I mean, I can give you all the tactics out there to get clients, but it's not going to do any good because the little voice right here is going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah. I'll go another route on this, Dylan. I totally agree with what Chris is saying, but what he said right now just hit home, the little voice in the head. And that just pertains to breaking past self-limiting beliefs or false belief patterns. And we're so big on this because that is ultimately what's going to cause paralysis by overanalysis and just prohibit you from taking action. So the sooner, like, a fitness professional, any entrepreneur can just identify which one is it that's really, chaining me down. Is it the fear of getting started? Is it the fear of failure? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it comparison syndrome? Is it scarce money mindset? All of those, play a huge role in all of us. But, there's one that's just weighing you down more. So the quicker you can identify that, peel back those layers and just recondition your mindset and just break past that, you'll be in a good place.
Yeah. As I like to say it becomes limitless after that.
Exactly. I love it. Yep, exactly.
So I think, I tell people that so much, but hearing it from other people, it's so much more psychology than anyone wants to admit.
Yeah, it is.
So much more psychology than anyone wants to admit. And the ability to step forward with that understanding and knock on that first wall that's in front of you, that first barrier, and say, okay, what are you? I'm going to tackle you. I don't care what realities I have to face. I don't care what deep down I have to either get through or, experience again. But, things come back to life, right? And in that you get freedom of them. You can let them go in a sense. Yep. So whether it, like you said, it's scarce money because you never had that and you never saw what it was like to have, finances that weren't an issue. Or it's the, you don't believe you are capable or worthy of a body or a business or whatever. There's so many different things that people have to overcome from that psychology standpoint.
Yep.
And without that, they'll never really, even if they do put out content, portray something that speaks to someone as genuine.
Exactly.
It's not going to be something that someone can say, oh, that sounded like so straight from the heart, because it's not. It's a front.
They're just wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not the COVID time.
Yeah.
but an actual mask.
Yeah.
So I would totally agree that the in-person things moving forward would just help everybody. And I think might be getting over that hump where, especially in Texas and Florida, it seems like the governors at work and the overall representatives of the state seem to be on board with kind of moving on.
Yeah, there's definitely more hope here.
Yeah, definitely.
More promise.
In Florida has been like the craziest of them all. Everyone's been saying since the beginning. It hasn't been that absurd. Most of the rules are along the same lines, but there's definitely just less enforcement in Florida because there's so many people. It's absurd. Yep. But I would love to, if you guys do, get something on the books by maybe the end of the year. I would love to definitely try to make something and come over there, collaborate in some sort of way, come learn from you guys. Now, Eric, I got to ask this. You got to show me some of that ink, man. Like what is going on? And Chris, do you have any?
I got some ink too.
You got some ink too. Okay, you got them on the arm. Cool.
Yeah.
I want to kind of see this.
So
if you guys are like me, this stuff paints a picture, right?
No, absolutely. And everything that I have is like representative, like just like who I am and like what I've been through and just like my family. So yeah, like on this whole right arm, I have like obviously a cross right here, and I have like cherub angels around it. It's for my grandma and my dad. And then it says in Spanish right here, siempre mi corazón. That means always in my heart. Then there's like a big sun ray that goes up here that covers everything. And then there's a big angel back here. And then right here, man, I just have like the Virgin Mary. It's kind of like the Day of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
And then like an Aztec warrior standing over skulls and like a rose petal, and just
Roses.
kind of to represent like just a protector and just a soldier pretty much. So
Warrior. Yeah, warrior.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love that Day of the Dead face. That is
Thank
super
you.
sick. My brother has something similar to that.
Yeah. It was painful, man. I don't know about doing that again.
Yeah. Dude. I can
his,
imagine. I can
his
imagine.
ink is sicker,
Chris.
man.
Yeah.
This
Chris,
guy
what do you
right
got?
here is just it's a cross right here of a chain. It says RIP, and then my dad's name, and then right here is just my last name, because I tend to forget it sometimes with some like sun rays, you know.
That was good.
Yeah. I have my last name on my leg actually,
Yeah.
so I can't even get up.
Yeah, and then I got a lion on my back, and then like a tribal sign on my calf. So those are the only ones I got.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
People always used to make the joke. They're like, "Oh, your last name, is that just in case you get lost and someone finds you?
Yeah.
You know, need to identify you at some point." You know,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. I have a family tree. I have angels up here, Saint Christopher, actually, with Jesus right on his
Yeah.
shoulder,
Sick.
and he's the trunk of the family tree. So at the bottom you have,
I like it.
it goes down into roots, and then I have the Eye of Providence. I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island. Here's the Providence coordinates. We are known as the ocean state, so we have waves there. Like I said, I have an angel up top there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
That's
I
sick
have a
though.
scroll on the
I like
chest. I'm waiting to get the logo somewhere. I want to get the logo. That's
Yeah. I want a chess piece too. So soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's try to stay away from the sternum, man. It's not.
I'm not messing with that or the ribs, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's tough. I have my spine done too, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. I would have thought it was worse. It's Chinese lettering, so it's not super like detailed in a sense, right? It's just kind of blacked out lettering. It didn't take forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're addicting. Once you get one,
For sure.
you can't go back.
Exactly. It's tough.
Yeah, but they paint an awesome picture, and they allow you to be a canvas for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I always like to pass the gavel, guys. I like to hand over kind of the interviewer part here and see if you guys have questions for me other than what we've talked about so far.
I'll definitely, I can do this. So this is a question I ask a lot of people on my podcast. It's pretty deep. So if you had 5 years to live, what would you stop doing right now?
5 years to live, what would I stop doing right now? It's funny you say this. So most of what I built, podcast included, and my online business, is with the hopes of living out of an RV and traveling the country. In the last 3 months, I got COVID and was sitting at home for days and was like, man, I moved to Florida with this intention of like build everything and then leave and take my journey and go see the world. And I kind of lost sight of that a little bit. I got lost in the sauce, right? So during those 10 days, I started looking for RVs. I was like, this is the time to do it. This is get back on track, get back to that 3-year plan that I had, the 3-year goal. Because for me, for one, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm just someone who likes new things and new stimulus all the time. And it's not to be said that I, can't sit there and get something done and focus and flow, but I love to meet new people. I love to see new places. I'm a huge cultural guy. So I want to be more grateful for what I have by experiencing the rest of what is to, offered.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, man. So honestly, if I had 5 years, I would probably empty all my bank accounts and buy that RV that I've been like slowly saving up for. And I'm like, I'm going to keep saving. I would just say, screw it. Let's go. and I would go 100% full bore on everything that I have that will be, virtual work for me. So I have business partners up in New England. I have a line of, products like you guys talk about in your book. There's, once you get a system down and you know what you offer for a service, that's your main thing. You got to find ultimate, conveyor belt of things to go alongside those. So my line of, products and things of those nature, I would just go fully into that. And unfortunately, I'd, probably leave my sister here. No, I'm just kidding. I would try to spend as much time with my family, but I would also, have to say, listen, I have to see the world before my time is over. So
yeah,
it's awesome, man. No, I
Thank
appreciate you sharing that though. I like that though. It's awesome,
good, man.
Thank you. I like to think, I don't need a lot to be happy, right? So
You don't minimalism.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Minimalistic. You're not distracted by all the things, and you get to really appreciate what is there and what you are. I think those are the two most important things. So
Couldn't agree more.
At some point, I'm going to be over in Texas anyways. That's I wiggle my way across the country.
Yeah. Well, if you're Dallas specifically, reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I plan on getting there at some point. So, Chris, you got anything?
No, man, that was a really deep question Eric asked. So that was good. Yeah.
I covered the ground on that.
I'm going to ask one of my last questions here. You guys get a conversation. You get one conversation with 3 different people, okay? They can be from any point in time that we know. They can be from present day, from the beginning of what we understand as human life, whatever it may be. You get to have a conversation with 3 people for 30 minutes. Sit on it for a second if you think like you had, or if you know a couple that you can name off the top of your head. Who would you guys sit down with?
That's deep. 3 people.
I mean, the only one that I can think of, to be honest, Dylan, is like my father. Just have a conversation with him. Like, I'd love to have a beer with him and just talk about life and all that stuff. I mean, at this point, man, it's just like there's nobody really that I put on a pedestal or anything like that. Like, I respect people, what they've accomplished and stuff. But at the end of the day, they're just humans and they started from ground zero just like anybody else. So that's why we're so like, we have so much humility and why we're so relatable. And, we don't put ourselves on pedestals, man. So I would say just my father, to be honest.
I love that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm thinking of all these people, and yeah, I could like say like The Rock, like I like J-Lo. There's so many people. There's so many people, but
well, in that case, no.
Yeah, like the conversation thing is what sticks out the most, and that's what I'd give. I'd give up anything just to have that conversation with my father.
No, that makes perfect sense, and that's sometimes just because you're given a mile doesn't mean you have to take the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
3 options. You don't need to take all 3. So I love that. I love that answer. For me personally, I've never experienced anything like that, and like you guys have, and that's one way that I humble myself all the time. And Gary Vee talks about this, and it's something that I've really taken from him because I listen to his podcast a lot. Is that he's never too high, he's never too low. He always grounds himself with the thought of, if I'm healthy and the 10 most important people and loved ones in my life are healthy, then nothing else truly matters. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've always, my answer for that question has always been like the Gandhis and the Buddhas and the Jesus and the Marleys and the Nipseys and the people that were lost too early and weren't fully understood. You know?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, want to say thank you to the utmost. This was awesome. I hope you guys feel the same way. And I definitely feel like we could cover a lot more ground. If you guys ever want to hop back on, I'm willing to always come over to your podcast if that's what the next one looks like. So that would be cool. And I want everyone to be able to follow you guys on all your different platforms. So lay those out. Where can people find you guys? Website, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. Anything?
Yeah, thanks so much, Dylan. Like first and foremost, to having us on. This has been a great
Yeah, thanks,
conversation.
man.
I love just like it was just relaxed, like good conversation, good topic. So thank you. And then yeah, like I said, man, like if you're ever over here in Dallas, please let us know. If we're in Miami area, which we will be, we'll definitely be reaching out to you. But for the listeners, yeah, check out our podcast, the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast, Instagram at Chris and Eric Martinez. Lots of good content there. And then if you're looking to go online with your fitness business and learn more about that and stuff, just head on over to dynamicfitpros.com. There's a lot of good info there.
Cool. And that's all I have for you guys. So once again, thank you so much for everyone listening. Listen again. there's a lot of good content. There's a lot of good one-liners. You can tell these guys dedicate their lives to bettering themselves 1% every day, taking action on anything and everything, learning from others, willing to make mistakes. And I think that's something alone that will help you get to that next level and help you become a dynamic fit pro or just a dynamic person if you're looking to improve
Absolutely.
your fitness,
Well said.
nutrition,
Well
your
said.
business, whatever it may be. So thank you guys. As always, until next time, be limitless.
All right, Dylan. Thanks so much, man.
Yes, absolutely. Peace
Later,
out,
man.
guys.